2027, we dance and all that. Yes. So yes, we can have webinars. Somebody wants to present, we communicate with you and all that. So it's the annual conference like this where we will have, we'll have some of these programs. In fact, we can also organize our AGM every year. It can be in our constitution that AGM that we are having during the conference. So it means that next year we'll have AGM, but it will not be a conference AGM. I hope you get it. We need AGM to present to you the reports and everything. Then we get feedback from you. That one will be annually. And then when we have the conference, we can merge the AGM with the conference like we have done. Okay. So I think that will also go into the constitution, isn't it? Joanna.
Thank you, Joanna.
Yeah.
So I think for some of these things to work, we need to have a working subcommittee.
Okay.
So for example, the training on vector research, if you don't set up a group of people whose focus is to plan how or what or even how these trainings are going to go, then it's never going to happen.
Right.
It will just be written here and that's it.
Right.
The same goes for the webinars.
Right.
We need to set up a few people who would concentrate time on thinking through what webinars, how frequently we're going to have it, looking for it. So your, calendars, so we are aware. Even emails from various other groups like Raft and all that, telling us that our webinars scheduled for these times. That is the way to go. And also,
Thank you very much. So it will be in the constitution that the executives will have the power to have ad hoc committees, isn't it? So we need to put in that. So we'll have committees for maybe the trainings, committee for webinars and all that. So I think that should be captured. So we'll do that. And then get members and chairpersons to run. Yes. Andreas.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking is, now we are talking because our parent organization is not working. But if it start working and every year there's conference, and to have conference, so in 2 years, the same year we are going to have 2 conferences.
Yes. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that relationship that we'll have with the headquarters. There's a slide on that. When we get there, we can discuss that. Because now we don't know. We are praying that they will marry. Okay, our parents will marry and give birth. But let's see how it goes. Yes, the vision is to make sure that we get Pamca on track. But how are we to do that? We'll discuss that. That will be the last slide. Then we finish. So when we get there, we'll discuss that.
So my thoughts on the timelines for conferences is that you also have executives that have a tenure.
Yes.
I believe the tenure is 3 years.
3 years, yes.
To consider the tenure of executives and the timelines for the conferences, so that you don't have a situation where one group has to organize 2 conferences and then one group doesn't get the opportunity to do so. So that it's maybe in the middle of every executive tenure. So for the 3 years, in the second year, then the conference.
Even that one, we have to agree on that. You see, already we've done 2 years. So should we make it 2 years?
So this is your second year.
Yes.
Then it's perfect because.
Should we make it 2 years or 3 years? We need to agree. Yes, for a tenure.
Oh, the 3-year tenure I think is okay because then you get to organize the conference in the second year of your tenure.
Right.
Then those who come after you also get to do it in the second year of their tenure as well.
Right. So do we agree? Do we agree that 3-year tenure it's okay?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So that is in the constitution. I'm sure it's something that we. Okay. So these are the programs. We have trainings, and as I mentioned, we'll look for subcommittees to do this. Okay, we'll look for subcommittees to do this. So we have conferences and all that. Let's move on. Is there any other program that we think that we should add? Is there any other program that we think we should add as part of our activities? Please, quickly. Is there any other program? Yes. There's a hand here. Look at the programs that we have. Is there any other thing we need to add? So trainings on vector research, Pamca school clubs. We want to have school clubs. We want to catch them young, go to the primary schools and secondary schools and have clubs. I think Wasan, we are partnering with Wasan. So Wasan is already having school clubs. And so we got the idea from Wasan to also, think of forming school clubs and all that. Yeah. What do you think? Any other programs? Yes.
So I'm Augustine from KCC.
Yes.
I think the programs are excellent, but then it's focused on more of the vector biology.
Yes.
But then we see the importance of data science and AI analysis, which is sometimes we lack it most. So I'm thinking, since we have experts among us, how to analyze data science, incorporating them into research to make our data meaningful.
So data on what? Is it vector studies or data on?
Yes. How to analyze, clean, using our other packages.
On which data? On vector research data.
Yes.
So trainings on vector research can include how to analyze data, isn't it? We haven't specified which training, but what we want to do is that looking at the needs of members, we can have a survey to look at the needs of members. Then people will specify, and then any other trainings that we think we can put in. It could be data science, it could be data analysis, it could be sequencing, and it could be anything. I hope we get it. But focusing on what? Vector research. Do you agree? Or we should focus on something else? Vector research. All right. Thank you. All right. So let's move on. Fundraising has been challenging fundraising. So the payment of our annual membership, that has been one of the key areas where we've been able to raise funds for this conference. And then also we are thinking of applying, like for research grants. We want to, as an association, maybe we can also think of applying for partnering with other funding organizations to get some research funding for trainings and other things. And then we also solicit for funds from private organizations in Ghana. So we have the National Malaria Elimination Program, Zoom Lion, PMI Evolve, Vestergaard, and they are all here. We have Mitsui, we have other organizations that we can also. So these are areas where we can get funds. The sponsor that we have for this program. Then board of advisors, as we've indicated, these are people we expect to bring more money to the association. So we also rely on them for fundraising. Then other governmental and non-governmental organizations. So if you think of any other groups that we can get funding, please, you can contact us so that we get to them, to support the fundraising. Then visibility, yes. How we can raise funds, yes.
I'm Priscilla Jekusi from KCC.
Yeah. Should I go back?
Yes, on the annual membership fee.
Yes.
I want to know the month that membership expires and we have to renew it.
Yeah, that's a very good question. So normally it's, after the conference it expires. Okay. If you look at the way the Pamca parents they organized if you look at the way the Pamca parents they organized theirs, it's mostly you pay because you want to attend the conference. It was more like that because virtually after the conference you may not be having other acts, unless maybe you have women in vector control doing some other things. But we can agree. Should we let it expire at the end of the year, December? So, for example, we've all paid towards this conference. We know that we've paid our membership dues for 2025. So, 1st January 2026, you need to, it expires 31st December 2025. And then 1st January 2026, you need to pay. Let's all agree on that. And it's because we are now trying to work out how we pay the membership. But do we all agree that every year we need to pay? and it's not a long time, one-time payment for life. Do we agree? Yes. So if you pay each year, at the end of the year, it expires. And then you need to pay again. Once we agree, I'm very happy that we've agreed with that. So by December 2025, what we paid should expire. Because we don't, the major activity for this year, maybe this, I don't know whether. Yes. Okay.
So what you're saying means that if I paid in October, by December it's expired.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's not supposed to be like that.
No, we can't be monitoring that kind of thing.
No, we have to. So we have to.
We
if
can't
I
be monitoring that.
Yeah.
It will confuse us.
No, it's 12 months. It's 12 months. I got a message from ASTMH that in June my registration would expire. My membership would expire, so I should renew. Okay. If you say I pay in November and December, it's expired.
So you see, the difficulty for us now, they have a system in place. They have a system in place.
We need to build.
We need to build. Yes, we haven't built that.
When I pay, you know the date I paid, and the record should be there.
Yes, we haven't built that yet.
We have to.
The point is that we haven't built that yet. We have to.
We have to.
But if I want to start looking at the different times that we paid, some paid to all this conference 2024.
Please,
okay.
President, please. So, you are talking about membership in good standing.
Yes.
So if I pay in November, in December, in January, I'm no longer in good standing. That is not good.
Yes. But if you are part of an organization, why do you see the organization needs money? Why do you wait January, February when there are activities? You are participating in activities. January, there's a webinar. You've joined the webinar. You've learned something. February, there's a webinar. There's this program. We need money. And you wait till
so the person
November
is not in good standing. In all those months the person has not paid, the person is not a member. He is not in good standing. If your registration
if you do it that
expires,
way,
it
means that people will come and pay as and when they feel that they want to participate in a program. So for example, they know that there is going to be a training coming, and the training will be indicated that members in good standing. Then they will come and pay, and then join the training. In that case, we also have to put in a timeline for when you can enjoy your membership. So if you pay a month to the training, you don't qualify. Please, do you get it? We can decide to have it will mess up the whole thing.
You can choose to do that, but for membership is to be 1 year.
Yes, I agree. But then let us all think of a way, because if you do it that way, then it means that somebody will wait, and then when there's a program, then they pay, and then we should agree that by a certain time you should have paid your membership fee. Maybe first quarter. Let's all agree that first quarter you should have paid your membership fee. Okay? If you don't pay your membership fee and it goes into mid of the year, it's your own business. I mean, you enjoy it for 6 months. Yes, that one.
Yeah.
If we don't do it that way, yes.
To add to that,
yes.
Doc, I think that ASTH, their membership ends in June. Because I registered mine last year, October. And they told me that by June, it expires, regardless of how many months you've enjoyed. Yes. So that's how it works. Yes, I paid in October. The next year, June. Yes, so I didn't enjoy the whole 1 year or 12 months of. No, so we are to set a month.
Yes.
Yeah. So if someone pays in November, by December it's expired, and you have to renew.
I agree. Yes. Yes, it should be 12 months. Yes, it should be 12 months.
If you want to enjoy the 12 months, then you pay in January.
You
you pay the first month to enjoy.
The point. Please, you see the challenge that we have.
Can we vote?
No, we'll vote. But I want to make a point. The challenge that we have is that, please, the challenge that we have is that members feel they don't benefit from their membership fees until there's a conference where there's a discount. And that was the same thing that I felt every time we had to travel, to Pamca. So you see that a year that you don't travel for Pamca, you decide not to pay. That was what was happening. So that year that you think that you are not going to benefit from the association, you cease to be a member of the association. And then the year that you think that you want to benefit from the association, then now you are a member of the association. That is what will happen. You see, so there should be even a way of indicating that if you don't pay for a number of years, you cease to be a member unless you register again. Otherwise, otherwise, you're not a member. Yeah, so what is going to happen is that people will only pay when they think they are going to benefit from that. And so a year that there won't be any conference, it will be difficult to raise funds for members. That's what is going to happen.
What's the fiscal year of Pamca?
We don't have any.
Can we decide on it?
Yes. Let's decide on that.
I propose.
I agree with you.
Can we vote on it?
I agree with you. So it expires 31st December 2025. And then whatever we paid expires. Then from 1st January 2026, you need to renew your membership. Yes. Yes.
Okay, so for me, I see that currently I'm a member, so probably I might not have a problem with that.
Yeah.
How about a new person coming in, or the person gets to know about it around that time, let's say December, first week in December, the person pays to become a member, new person.
Yeah.
And then it tells, ending of December, it tells him or her that
yeah, but that's what
gone.
ASCM is.
He sees.
So, okay, yes, let's answer it.
The answer to the question is, before you register and pay, you know that the fiscal year ends on 31st December. It is your decision to make if you still want to register and pay, or wait till 1st January and register as a member for that year.
Yes, that's all. You see, the interesting thing is that for members who think that there is a program for the same person who thinks there's a program that they will benefit from the organization, they will register. Even if it's 6 months, they will register and lose it because they know they will benefit within the 6 months. So we have to be fair to the association. So let's move on. Okay, so visibility. We've been looking at these areas to be visible. The social media platform, looking at the Facebook, X, Instagram, LinkedIn. Please, how many of you have been following on our social media? Is it active? Is it active? We want a feedback. X is active. Which one is not active? Instagram is not active. And any other? Okay, so we need to activate that, isn't it? And then we have a website now. So I think that is something that we know that. And then we are thinking of short educative videos on mosquitoes. Short educative videos on mosquitoes from Pamca, Ghana. So we have lab activities. You take a video, put it on YouTube, Pamca, Ghana, and all that. Is it a good idea? Yes. So we should be thinking of short. I mean, it can be from any other organization. It can be from UCC. But as long as you want to route it through Pamca, Ghana, then we have the visibility. So I think it's something we should be thinking of. And then radio, TV programs. Okay. During Mosquito Day, World Mosquito Day, World Malaria Day, we have Pamca, Ghana representing. To educate the public. So these are the ways that we think we should enhance the visibility. Any other points that we've not captured here? Any other points? Any other points? Let's move on. Review of Pamca Ghana Constitution. How many of us looked at it? Let's see by hand. How many of us read the Pamca Ghana Constitution? And then we have the Pamca Headquarters Constitution. We sent 2 files. Okay, so I did a few reviews, and I want us to take note of that. So the first thing is that the Ghana chapter adopted the headquarters constitution, and I think we should give the previous executive a round of applause. They did a lot of work. I'm sure Joanna was the key person, and then Prof. Dazi and all that. So went through this. And if you look through that, the name that we have in there is Pan-African Mosquito Control Association, Ghana. That's what we have in our constitution. The name should be Pan-African Mosquito Control Association, Ghana, Pamca-Gh Ghana. So it's not Pamca-Gh Ghana chapter. That's what we have in our constitution. That our name will be Pan-African Mosquito Control Association, Ghana. Okay, so we need to decide on whether we are saying that it is Pamca-Gh Ghana chapter. That's the name, or it's Pamca-Gh Ghana. Okay, Pan-African Mosquito Control Association, Ghana. That's the name. Not Pan-African Mosquito Association, Ghana chapter. No. It's something that we are discussing. So, okay, no, but we still have the Pamca-Gh Ghana, Pamca-Gh GH. There's no chapter in here, isn't it? There's a chapter there. Chapter Ghana. Okay. All right, but that's fine. I mean, it's okay. I think it's coming because of the labeling we've had from the headquarters, that they have various chapters. And I think we'll discuss that on the next slide. Mr. Shaibu, are you going to say something? Chapter, okay. Yes. Get from them, yes. Please use the microphone, because those online will not be able to hear.
So if I remember what I said we should have Ghana chapter, because we're hoping that the problems that is happening at the global level will be resolved.
Yeah.
And once they are resolved, we'll be affiliated. And if we are affiliated, just like any member wanting to join Ghana chapter, there are some benefits the person wants to drive from.
Yeah.
So as a country or as a chapter, we also need to drive some benefits from the global.
Yeah.
So I think that we should still have the Ghana chapter, that we stand opportunity that we can still be part of the good things that the global will benefit from. I'm sure definitely if it comes one day, Ghana is going to host the conference. Right? And if we are not part of, our economy too will not grow, because we've grown other countries' economies by traveling to them and hosting all the things. Ghana needs that money too.
All right. Thank you very much. So, in fact, hopefully we know our parents will get married and we'll have more sisters and brothers. All right. So, I realized that we had specific objectives in our constitution. And there were 22 specific objectives, mainly with reference to mosquitoes. Okay? So if you look at the objectives, we're mainly referencing mosquitoes and not looking at vectors, other vectors too. We don't have that. I mean, you look at the concept of focusing on mosquitoes. And then between the specific objective number 13 to 22, it's very confusing. Very, very confusing. It's not very clear. And number 18 indicates that we are going to establish a national or regional branches in Africa. It's there. It's in our constitution that to establish national and regional branches in Africa. And so it just struck me that no, let me go back and look at the constitution of the headquarters. And that was when I realized that this was just adopted directly from the headquarters constitution, and we didn't really change much to suit, especially under the specific objectives. We didn't really do much to suit Ghana. And then even at 19, it says that receive grants from Kenya. It's in our constitution. Receive grants from Kenya and from other organizations and all that. Okay. So I quickly realized that we don't have to just continue reviewing this, but rather review the headquarters one. So, but what we have here is what, I mean, the date this was signed was 5th October 2019. So I just want to take note that we've signed to this, and this indicates that we need to review our constitution, isn't it? Based on, I mean, to reflect what we are doing here in Ghana, and based on the points that we've highlighted here, we need some legal brains to review the constitution and update it. Yes, there's a question here. We want to hear you online, so use the microphone.
I'm Christopher from University of Ghana Medical School. I think the Constitution also states that the Constitution was adapted for Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research, and it was a bit confusing. I don't know if we adapted that of Noguchi or that of the national, the headquarters.
Yes. So I think that that one too was a bit confusing. I think maybe it's looking at the secretariat, the location of the secretariat. You see, that's the way I understood it. So because if you are registering it, I think you need a location from the Registrar General. So you need a location where the signing took place and all that. And so that location is what we have there as the Noguchi location. I hope you get it. All right. Okay, so let's look at a review. It's not changing here. Please, where is the IT? It's frozen. IT, please, we need you. IT, hey, women in vector control. Women in vector control. So let's allow the women in vector control. You see the reason why we need to put them in the Constitution? Yes. Yeah. Okay, so I did a critical review of the Pamca Parent Constitution. That's the headquarters. Looking at this is the constitution that binds all of us, the 18 countries. That's the chapter countries. So the first thing I did was, as a research person, just to do a search through the document to see if I'll find the name chapter. Just the name chapter. So I searched through that. There was no name chapter in the Constitution that binds all of us. But we have 18 chapters. But there's no word chapter in the Constitution. Then I looked at the names of all the 18 countries. Searched through. So I put in Ghana. Search. There was no Ghana in it. I put in Mali. Search. No Mali. Namibia. So all the names that I mentioned, I just searched. Because, of course, just to understand the mindset behind the framers of the Constitution. Okay? Or what existed at that time before. Yes.
Okay. So I am Fred Abuaji.
Okay.
I was supporting the beginning. Yes. So if we look at how the Ghana branch was formed, it all had to do with we hosting Pamca. So before we hosted, they wanted us to have a branch, a functioning branch. So you realize that we had to do a lot of things in a rush. And that's how come the cut and paste came in. Yes. And so most of the time, if they want a country to host the meeting, they will urge you to form a branch. And they had been urging us to form a branch since the meeting we had in Ouaga. And then more pressure was put on us when we went to Cameroon. And then we came back and started working. So that's how come Pamca Ghana came in.
All right. Thank you very much for the brief history. So it means that you only become a chapter when you are about to organize a conference in your country. Is that right? Based on what you said, it means that what was existing was that you only become a chapter if you are about to organize the annual conference in your country. That's when you become. If you don't have,
you should have a functioning, in quote.
Okay.
A functioning chapter.
I get it. All right. So based on my search, and then so all the 17 countries I searched, I didn't find any name in the constitution. I'm just building a point for all of us to understand, the kind of constitution that we have and the need for a constitutional review. That's why I'm making this point. Then I searched for Kenya, and then I got two. It came out. So on two different pages, you find the name Kenya there. And then I searched for Pan-Africa. There were two different pages that you find Pan-Africa. Then I searched for country, just to see if there's a word country, because we are looking at other countries. So I searched for country. It was only one. And this is the statement that you find in the country. It says that to establish, it's part of the objectives, okay? Part of the objectives. To establish an endowment fund to receive grants, donations, gifts, and other assistance in any form whatsoever from Kenya or from any other source of any one or more of the objects of the organization. This is referring to the organization in Kenya. Okay? And to establish non-profit making foundations in any country. Okay? To establish non-profit making foundations in any country or countries for the purpose of receiving donations from private and corporate persons and for channeling the same to the organization's development operations. The way I understand is that one of the objectives will be to raise funds from Kenya and then raise funds from other countries, foundations from other countries or private organizations to support the organization in Kenya. Please, do you get it? Yes, Joanna.
So does this non-profit making foundation, is that a
Well, here, I think at the beginning, at this time, the chapters had not, they were not established chapters. This is the way I understand it. From the constitution, the way I understand it when I reviewed it was that and that's why this board issue is coming up. So the idea came from Kenya, and I think we should give a round of applause to the Kenyans, those who brought up the idea for Pamca. So the idea was set up in Kenya. Then they had a board to manage the association, and then registered the board in Kenya. So the way I understand it is that at that time, all membership at that time were members of the association that has been registered in Kenya. Please, do you understand it? It's like Wasan. It's like how Wasan. All right, but the point is that the organization has started in Kenya. The idea came up in Kenya, and then there was a board that was formed in Kenya, and the board was registered in Kenya. And so all membership, conference here, conference there, all membership, you join the membership of the association that has been registered in Kenya. And now it's like the group has grown beyond the confines of Kenya and the board and all that. That is where we are now. That is where we are now. So this point here is to say that funds will be solicited from Kenya, institutions in Kenya, and then institutions in other countries, non-profit making countries, for all the purposes of supporting the association in Kenya. That's the way I understand it. And that's why you don't see any chapter in it, because at that time there was no mention of chapter. And then now the organization has grown beyond the chapter, where we have beyond the focus in Kenya. And so now we have even chapters growing to the extent where they can organize their own. It's been registered in Kenya. We can registered in Ghana. We can organize our own conference and all that, without any. And that is where we still need an international organization, but in what form should it take? I hope you get it. All chapters everywhere, we need an international organization, but in what form should it take? So the question is that let's finish the review. The last review is the board. I searched for board in the Constitution and I got 94. So there were 94 words that had been mentioned in 94 words, that is board, had been mentioned in the Constitution. And so if you look at it, the Constitution is only 15 pages. The 16th page is a signature page. So if you look at where you have the inscriptions of what we need to do, objectives and all that, there are only 15 pages. And these 15 pages, we have the word board appearing 94 times. So on the average, every page, there are 6, it appears 6 times on the average on a page. And that is where our problem is now. That is where our problem is now. The point is that if we say that now, Ghana, if we say that a board is registered in Kenya, what does it mean to us in Ghana? I just need legal brains to help me out. We've registered Pamca Ghana chapter in Ghana. There is a board. The board is registered in Kenya. What does it mean? I don't really know. I don't really know. And so I want people to help us. Yes.
Yeah, this is Fred again.
Yes.
Yes. Do we have, I don't remember, we having any legal agreement with a parent organization. There could be an NDA, like what we do, non-disclosure agreements or whatever. We don't have any such documents. Right from the beginning, we didn't. And I think it's got to do with the modus operandi of the parent organization. The whole idea was that when it comes to conferences like this, we get some local people, we use them, after that, we move on. But going forward, we have to change the thinking. Now we have 18 chapters.
Yes.
I think the first thing we have to do is to review our own constitution and make it relevant for the times. After that, the 18 chapters, you can come together with the support of your members and review the constitution of the parent association.
Yes.
And then we can move on from there.
Yes, thank you very much. So if you look at the current, and that is why the board, the name board appears 94 times. 94 times in a 16-page constitution, because virtually whatever we have here talks about board. And to the extent that the annual meetings must be organized virtually by the board. So we have a statement here. Annual meetings, the conferences should be organized by the board. If there is any extraordinary meeting for any event, it should be initiated by the board. there's no locus for any chapter, any member chapter, country, whatever, in the constitution that we hold. There's no locus. We don't have any position in this constitution that I hold here. So let me read one point here for you. Under general meetings says that the organization shall in each year hold a general meeting as the annual general meeting, in addition to any other meetings in that year. So it means that every year there should be an annual general meeting that will be held, and that was what we're going. For the conferences. So that is what we have here, and it must be done every year. And then in addition to any other meetings in that year, and shall specify the meetings as such in notice. So you specify it in notice, calling it. Now, not more than 15 months shall elapse between the date of one annual general meeting of the organization and that of the next. So that's what I mentioned. So it's in the constitution that it shouldn't take more than 15 months. From the previous meeting, it shouldn't take more than 15 months to organize the next meeting. And it's here. And listen to this. The annual general meeting shall, it's a shall. The annual general meeting shall be held at such time and place as the board shall appoint. Please do hear it. It's a shall. There are two shalls in this.
President.
Yes. Okay.
It's unfortunate we don't.
Yes. Yes.
It's part of the current. That board is also undergoing some reformation.
Yeah.
Right. So my humble appeal will be that.
Yeah.
How can we concentrate on Ghana chapter?
Yeah.
To grow it.
Yes.
So that if the Buhaha, we would have a bargaining power to say, okay, before we want to belong to Pamca-Gh Global, these are things we want to have.
Yeah.
And then that would attract us. So
Excellent.
My interest would be, can we, whilst there are challenges there, can we concentrate on building our local chapter?
Yeah.
Okay, because all the things we're talking about here, that.
Yeah.
Now,
so
if you're talking about legalities for all the other countries that have organized, I think they benefited they received some monies from them. But for now, let's concentrate on building Ghana chapter. That's my humble appeal.
Yeah. So I agree. My only concern is the legal issues that binds us. We can concentrate on the Ghana chapter, but is this thing binding us? What I'm reading here, is it binding us?
So yes,
that's what I'm not sure.
On that binding, like Fred said, that we don't seem to have any agreement, MOU or specifically, But there are some. So you see, someone said Pan-African Mosquito Control Association registered in Kenya. They say
Ghana,
without even an
please, we can't hear you. Want the online?
Hello. So what I'm saying is that somebody KFC, right? It's a good brand nationally, and you want KFC in Ghana. You are paying for the franchise.
Yeah.
You can't just pay KFC and be independent.
Yeah.
With or without agreement, you have bought into that brand.
Yeah.
And so, of course.
Please, IT, we can't hear you, because it's important that if you don't speak into a microphone, the online group will not hear you.
Everyone registers there, and then they give you in the constitution how they give you a percentage of the country. Because if the country chapter is not recognized anywhere in the Constitution, how were they? Was there anything in the Constitution that binds them that they should pay a certain percentage to the country? So if we are concentrating on building Ghana 100%, but the fact that we have Pamca, it means that we owe them a responsibility. Yeah. We owe them some, If we call it Ghana Mosquito Control Association, like we have AMCA, then you don't owe them anything.
Right.
If all the countries set up their own Mosquito Control Association, then they can choose to affiliate, they can choose to come together as a global body to have that strength. But as we Pamca, then we are, yes. That's my understanding. Thank you.
Great. So what it means is that we would have to engage up to an extent to see if our parents will marry and if all these things will be resolved. Otherwise, then very soon we should be thinking of changing the name, isn't it? Isn't it? Yes. So we are going to engage. In fact, what I know is going to happen is that we have chapter countries also. I don't know whether we have any member online, but I sent invitation to virtually all the chapter leaders that I know in the 17 countries. So I sent an email to them to join in this discussion, so that we can all follow and say that this thing should be a bottom-up approach. I think the constitution right from the beginning, because it started in Kenya, was a top-bottom approach where you have a board set up controlling, but now it's grown beyond Kenya, it's grown beyond any board, it's grown beyond any founder. Okay, it's grown beyond any board, it's grown beyond any founder, it's become a huge organization in various countries, and so now we need to restructure the whole thing and make it a bottom-up approach. So we have chapters doing their own thing, okay, organizing their funds and registering their people and all that, and then we form an organization if we need. I mean, of course, as they mentioned, we need an international organization, a board at international level to be able to coordinate or help us with funds and all that. And so this constitution, which doesn't mention any chapter, which doesn't mention any country, should be reviewed, isn't it? It should be reviewed. And I think chapter leaders should come together to think of how we can review this and then go to our parents and tell them that this is what we want, isn't it? This is what we want. Okay, we can start from Ghana. We put legal brains together. They draft a constitution based on what we want to bind us, and then partner with other leaders in other countries that this is the way we want. Talk to your people in the various countries. How should we? Because this thing cannot bind us. Honestly, this cannot bind us. And in fact, let me read one last thing before we go. Even if you want to organize an extraordinary meeting, assuming that all the members, we are very angry with the board and we say we don't want to do anything. We are angry. We don't have any locus to do that, because the constitution says that annual general meeting shall be called ordinary general meeting, and all other general meetings shall be called extraordinary general meetings. So it means that the annual meetings will be ordinary general meetings. In between that, if any group wants to organize any meeting, you call it extraordinary meetings. Now let's see the manner of convening extraordinary general meetings. Let's listen to this. It says that the board may, whenever it thinks fit, convene an extraordinary general meeting. The board shall also, on the requisition of not less than 1/3, okay, which is 2/3, isn't it? on a requisition of not less than 1/3 of the members of the organization, proceed to convene an extraordinary general meeting, provided that the requisition must state the objectives of the meeting and must be signed by those who requested for that. So it means that if we all agree that we want to have an extraordinary meeting, we need to sign and take it to the board, and then let them, and then maybe they'll be pushed to do that. So let's move on. So we all agree that we need to do this. Let's move on, and then so I think we've talked about this already. So what are some of the achievements? This is so of course we've organized some webinars. We've been part of the malaria World Malaria Day, and then World Mosquito Day. We've developed our website. I'm sure we all know that. I don't want to say appointed, because appointed advisory board is more like, so we've, which word should we use? We've invited, maybe we should use the word, we've invited some members to be part of the advisory board. Then we've also put together, looking at social media, we are trying to be a bit visible there. And then we've organized this conference. A round of applause for all of us. Yeah, so at least we've achieved a lot. And these are our challenges. Funds, of course, we know that. And then our physical meetings. Trying to organize physical meetings is always difficult for such an organization. It's all virtual. But I don't know how we can get a lot of membership when we want to organize physical, like World Malaria Day, World Mosquito Day. How do we try to, flip up members to join in the physical meetings? Then, of course, the current issues at the headquarters is also a challenge, because raising funds, you don't even have the opportunity to raise funds, because if you identify with, because of those issues. Acknowledgements. Yes. So we want to acknowledge all these individuals. So we have the Pamca international members and all other countries. Pamca Ghana chapter, we also acknowledge all of you. Round of applause, all of us. We've done very well. Then, participants of this conference, all of us, conference organizers, subcommittee members, a round of applause. Guests, speakers, and all that, sponsors. So the sponsors, we have Syngenta as platinum sponsor. We also have Michu Chemicals and Crop, Chemicals, Crop, and Life Solutions, also as platinum sponsors. Then EK Consult, let's say you, also platinum sponsors. And then we have this gold, Noguchi, sponsored us for gold. And then Health Alliance also sponsored us at the gold category. Then we have LabMat, silver category of the sponsorship. And then we have the Acomvic, that gave us the bronze category of the sponsorship. Thank you very much. And we'll end it. All right. So MC, I'm done. And yes, you have a question. Okay.
You've spoken a lot about the organization and things you are putting in place. I think during this conference, even before and during and I think after, the executive did a lot of work to make sure Pamca Ghana also gets to the heights that we wanted. What are the benefits of the executives taken care of by the organization? Or
it's pro bono completely. We are not taking anything. The only thing I'm taking is I put on my CV that I'm a president of Pamca. That's all. And Kingsley, and no one is taking anything. No one is taking anything. So it's just on our CV that we are doing this. And I think for God and country, isn't it? All right. So a round of applause to all the executives. But if you think you want to pay us, we will not reject it. If you force us, we will not reject it. But I think this is what we all love to do. So, and that's why I'm not going to pay any advisory board any money. Thank you. All right. MC, I'm done. Thank you. Please, we have a few awards. We do that, and then we close the section. And then we can interact thereafter. Okay, so let's give it a few minutes. We'll just end the conference. We are still collating for the oral and then the poster. Okay, so give us some time. EC is here to help us with the collation. Please, you see, we have closing section, and I know some of us are traveling back today. Okay, so can we close the section after lunch, and then can we close the session so we have our lunch, and then we come back and close the section? Because we are waiting for